Hello, my name is Nazeer from the Faculty of Civil Engineering Technology. Welcome to all of you in Canada, and for those international students, welcome to you also. When we look at I have on the screen here, I have a problem, and I'm going to do the derivative of this problem. And it is a quotient, and a quotient is when you have a division, the result of that is called a quotient. Now, what I have on the upper right hand side of the screen here is the formula for a quotient, for doing the derivative of quotient. What it's saying here, the derivative of quotient, where you have u and v, so I'm going to take v, which is denominator, and multiply it by the derivative of the numerator, put a minus sign in between them, and take u and multiply it by the derivative of v, which is the denominator. Place all of that over v squared. Okay, so this is the formula we're going to use, and let's go and perform that operation with this. Again, we have to keep our notation, so when we do the derivative of this becomes dy dx. Okay, so we have u here and we have v here. Let's go to the next step. I am going to set up the equation, and that is dy dx is equal to the denominator multiplied by the derivative of the numerator, and the derivative of the numerator, I kind of went a little bit elaborate here to show you how to do it. It's really 2 times 6 is 12x, and you reduce the power by 1, so you're gonna have 2 times 6 is 12x. What I have here is the 2 multiply the 6x, and I'm subtracting the 1 by reducing the power by 1. I end up with a power of 1. Anything raised to the first power, it's itself, so it's really 12x. And then I'm gonna put the minus sign in between like the formula says here, and I'm gonna take the numerator and multiply it by the derivative of the denominator. Now the derivative of the denominator, the denominator is right here. I'm going to multiply by the derivative. When I look at this, if I were to take the derivative of a constant, it is 0, and there it is. When I look at this, we have a power of 1 here. 1 times 2 is 2. Reduce that by 1, it becomes 0 power. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1, so it remains as minus 2, and that's what's right here. I'm going to then take all of this, place it over the denominator squared, so the denominator right there squared. Okay, so that's the derivative part of this, right? The other part of this is the algebra part of it, to reduce it to a prime form so that you could leave your answer in the correct form. I'm gonna have to multiply out this stuff, but right now we have to remember that this is 12x right in here, so we're gonna have 2 terms right here, and I'm gonna have 1 term right there. Of course, because multiplying by minus 2, this will become positive, so let's go and do that right now. Again, I have 12x right there. 12 times 3 is 36x. 12 times minus 2x will give you minus 24 x squared, which is right there. And then I'm going to go to the other side of this. This times that will give you 0, and then we'll have a minus times a minus will give you a plus 12x squared, plus 12x squared. I'm going to carry the denominator of this as is. Right? The next process here is to look at the numerator and see if you could factor it and place it in the prime form. Prime form really means you cannot reduce it any further. I could basically see right in here, I could take out the 12 from the coefficient, and the lowest x value, which will be just x by itself, so I could pull out the 12x from what is here. And let's go and do that. Oh no, oh no, I could put together these two guys here and come up with a minus 12x, because these are like terms. So we have 36x minus 12x squared. Okay, And then there's the last step, which I kind of jumped to before I did this particular process. I should take out of a 12x from here and leave it in its prime form. And that's what I've done here, 12x. And if I were to take this 12x and divide it back into there, I would get 3. And this into there, I'll just get x. And that's your final answer. Okay? Let's go to another problem, a little bit more complicated problem than this one. And here it is. It is a binomial in the numerator, trinomial in the denominator. And the same formula will be used. We are going to take the denominator, multiply it by the derivative of the numerator, put a minus sign in between, take the numerator, multiply it by the derivative of the denominator, and then place that all over the denominator squared. Okay? And let's go and do that. Okay, we take the denominator right there and place it right there. I'm going to do the derivative of this, which will become 9x squared. 9x squared. The derivative of this becomes minus 1 right there. I'm going to put my minus sign in between that, and I'm going to take the numerator and place it here, and the derivative of the denominator, which is 2 times 2 is 4x minus 5, and that is what is right there. I'm going to take all of that and place it over the denominator squared right there. Now it's the algebra part of this. I'm going to have to multiply this out, so I'm going to have 2 times 3 is 6 terms, and I'll have 4 terms right there when I multiply this out. 9 times 2 is 18, x to the 4th. 9 times 5 is minus 45, x cubed, and 9 times 4 is 36, x squared. And then because I'm multiplying by minus 1, it's this entire trinomial. All the signs will change, and I'll line it up right there. I'm going to have a minus sign, and this is something that you have to be cautious about. You should open brackets here, and whatever the product of this here is, ensure that it is inside the bracket. And the reason why I'm telling you to do that is because the minus sign will change all of the terms inside of that bracket. So if you leave, if you don't put the brackets there, you have to remember that all of this will change. Okay? I prefer to put in the brackets, and you'll see that as we go to the next step. Like I mentioned, 9 times 2 will give you that. 9 times 5 will give you this term. 9 times 4 give you this. And all of these, the signs have changed because of multiplying by minus 1. I've placed the minus sign right in here. I open the brackets, and I multiply out these guys here. 4 times 3 is 12, x to the 4th right there. 4 times minus x will give you minus 4x squared. And then we go to 5 times 3 is minus 15, x cubed. And then this becomes plus 5x right there. This is why I said to open the brackets, because all of these signs are going to change in the next step. And then we're going to look for like terms. Okay, we have like terms here already. All of the square terms are like terms. Do we have cubes? Yes, we do have cube terms that are like, and we have this guy, and if this is minus, that'll just cancel out because this will become minus. Okay, let's go and put together this thing. We have 18x to the 4th, and the only 4th power that we have is right here, but we have to remember is a minus in front of that, so it becomes a 6, positive 6 x to the 4th, right? And that's where it is. And I'm gonna go for the cube now. Minus 45, and we have a cube there, but this becomes plus, so it becomes minus 30x cubed right there. When we look at this, the square, we have between these two we have plus 34, right? And I'm looking for square term. This becomes plus again because of that minus sign, so then they'll become plus 38 x squared. Okay, and then we go for the x terms. We have 5x and we have 5x, but because of that minus, those cancel out. And then we're looking at the numbers. Minus 4, no more numbers right there. So we are complete. We have completely put together the numerator right in there. We can't leave it like that. We're going to go and factor things out here. And when we look at that, we could take out a 2. If this 4 had an x there, then we could have taken out an x, but it doesn't have an x, right? So we're going to just pull out a 2. And when we look at that, 2 into 6x to the 4th will give you 3x to the 4th. And 2 into minus 30x cubed will give you minus 15x cubed right there. And 2 into 38 will give you 19 plus 19x squared. And 2 into minus 4 will give you minus 2. You could multiply this back out. You'll get exactly what's there. That's your check. And we carry the trinomial in the denominator and we square it. This is your final answer. Okay? That is the quotient rule. And if you like this video, please do hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. And I hope that this really explains it for you. And there's more to come. Thank you. Bye-bye.